Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to some Victoria 3. We continue our Lanfang run. Let's get into this. Of course, first thing is always first. Let me say hello to myself. Hello, me. First thing is always first. Let me say hello to myself. Hello, me. Oh, there I am, back at you, buddy. Okay, so sounds working. All right, so we're diving back in. You know, something to mention before we get into it, if anybody wasn't aware, yesterday the dev team at Victoria 3 did a live stream. Yesterday, the dev team did like a live stream where they showed all of the new content. Well, not all of it, actually. They did say, we're still actually working on some of this. Sorry, doing some personal maintenance while I talk about this. So they did a live stream yesterday that was both on Twitch and on YouTube that you can look at the VOD on. And basically they just played the game with the new content. And so I am just so ecstatic for this new update to come out. So it was fantastic. So if you didn't get a chance to see that, head over to their Twitch or YouTube channel, the Victoria 3 channel. I think on Twitch it's just the Paradox channel. On YouTube, it's the Victoria 3 channel, and you can watch that and see all the new stuff that's coming out, and it looks fantastic. I cannot wait. June 17th, cannot wait. All right, so we are continuing. So before we dive into it, so at the end of last stream, so on Monday, we were having some problems with our construction sector where it just wouldn't build anything, and I couldn't figure out why. An awesome subscriber on the YouTube, on my YouTube channel, on the YouTubes. God, made myself sound super old there. Was commented about it, and their comment kind of led me down a Google hole where I kind of found it. I didn't realize in North Borneo, we don't have a financial district yet. And in Lanfang, we do have some. Is this? Let me make sure this is the right one I loaded up. Lanfang stream. March 18th, 1851. Yeah, that's this one. Okay. Well, so we do have a little bit here. And so I think the problem we were running into was that we didn't have a financial district here, so it wasn't going to build any urban buildings, and there was no profitable agricultural buildings to build, and so it just wasn't building anything. So we are going to try to get another construction sector off the ground, and we're going to try to get a financial district here. But of course, in order to sell a building, we need oh, hello there. Sunny Day Sunny Day Enjoyer. What an awesome name. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So awesome of you. Welcome in, welcome in. Just started the stream for the night. So just talking about an issue that we had. Yeah, thank you. An issue we had last episode that caused us to have to get rid of the construction sector that we had. So the goal today, well, our ultimate goal in this stream is to get the miners not miners achievement. So we got to incorporate the entire state of Borneo here. So we got as much as we could other than Katai, because we need to naval invade them because the border we share is impassable. And now we're just kind of building ourselves up so that we can increase our army and navy to do the big battle, which is against the Dutch East Indies. Thank you for asking, Game. Game is going well so far. So this is the third episode. We're still fairly early. So far, so good. We were able to take on a couple states, and they all kind of they were split states, so we have the two here. So we're doing fairly well, other than the embarrassing no construction sectors by 1851. We've had to delete a couple. So tonight's goal is to finally just get this construction situation underway. Now part of our problem is we're facing some major acceptance issues. Oh, Pacavide, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back, buddy. How are you? So we have some acceptance issues. You can see here, the vast majority of our people are at very low acceptance. These guys are mainly Sunni, some Catholic. These guys are mainly animist. Next patch will be easier for little nations. Yes, I was just talking about it. I cannot wait for the patch and the DLC. It's going to be so awesome. If maybe you're already aware of this, but I want to tell everybody because it was so awesome. Yesterday, the Victoria 3 team did a live stream where they basically just played the new content. So we got to watch them play a run as Argentina with the new content, and it looks fantastic. And so they have a VOD for it up on their Twitch and YouTube channel, so should definitely check that out. I cannot wait for the new patch. The whole game is going to fundamentally change. I usually play as Argentina, and I have no choice but attack the smaller nations to get us. Yeah, exactly. A couple streams ago, not a couple streams, but a couple runs ago, I did one as Paraguay, and it was the same thing. Kind of the reverse. I had to attack Argentina along with many others. It's kind of what you have to do over here. But the next update, the DLC and the free patch, is going to be fantastic. I just cannot wait for it. Oh, yes, please jump to Twitch. Awesome. Do it. All right. So tonight my goal is to get the construction sector up underway. I think I can try feasibly to get us up to 50 construction points. Obviously, we're going to go further than that in the run, but tonight, that's kind of what we're looking for. Because once we can get the construction sectors up, we can start getting an economy that can afford a larger military. Because we have to be able to battle this. 19 battalions, 22 conscripts. Now, they have Big Daddy Netherlands. This is true, although they're not even very powerful. But we are a subject of Great Qing, and so we have Big Daddy Qing right there. So we've got that going. So let's take a look. I want to build the construction sector in North Borneo, because this is where we have the iron. But of course, North Borneo has a lot of acceptance issues. But that shouldn't hurt us too much there. So we already have 3 iron mines. We have some wood going. And what are we researching? Romanticism. That's right, because we are trying to also still get off of... Oh, we are off of traditionalism. Okay, good. Thank God we did that last time. Can you have your own alliances despite being a subject? No. You can't... So we can't, like... I don't know, say like Siam. We can't do this. Well, it doesn't really say it here, but I feel like if we had good relations, it still wouldn't allow us to. Let's see, who do we have good relations with? Yeah, neither, here's where it says it, neither of the two countries is a subject without diplomatic autonomy. So yeah, I guess we could if we were a subject, but we had a greater amount of autonomy, which we're working on, but we don't have it yet. Because Spain usually rivals Netherlands. Yeah, we were working on Spain. Do we still have an interest there? Hey, it does... allow me the button. That is interesting. I always thought you couldn't, which is why I wasn't looking for it. Thank you for asking that. Let's make sure we still have our interest over here. Oops. Yeah, we do. Good. So we can still do relations with them. So what about... Yeah, our rank, ideological differences in government, our power projection. What's their government? Yeah, so this will have to be a little bit more of a long-term goal, but very interesting. Alright, so we'll keep an eye on that, but we are keeping relations high with Spain. So can we... Are we positioned... Yeah, that's right. We don't have cotton in our market, but we got quite a bit of it in the Qing market. So let's test the waters. Oh, although yeah, we do need to get the budget up a little bit. Okay, so we'll hold off a little bit. Wait till we have a little bit of money so that we can have some wiggle room if it doesn't work out. Egypt did border gore. Let's see what they did. Whoa! Look at what they did. By 1851. So they took Tripoli, they took Libya. What's their rank up to now? 14th unrecognized. Alright, we also have worker problems, which is why we're going for propertied women right now. So let's make sure we got what we need here. This looks good. We do want to get a navy started. Do we have the... Yeah, we got the military shipyards going. We also... Okay, hold on. I realized, too, we should turn off privatization until we get the... what do you call it? The construction sector going, because our private sector can't buy anything because we don't have the construction sector. But we are in the Qing market, so Qing can come in and buy all this stuff up, which would not be great for us. I suppose if we could sell one thing, just so we can get the construction sector built. We'll keep this on... Oh, well, we don't own this one. Yeah, that would be a problem. We don't know. Oh, I gotta pay attention here to what we own. Well, they're not gonna buy any of that. I suppose if they wanted to buy our one logging camp here, they could do that. Alright, let's unpause. Give us a little bit of wiggle room so that we can turn on some construction. I share the Qing market right now, because I'm still in their market. Which is why it's not that bad for us right now. We kind of can use it. What's nice too is that before we go into our big war with the Dutch East Indies, you know, we only need to protect these two sea nodes to stay connected to the market. So I'm going to try to build 2 navies to escort convoys here. And we're going to actually try to not lose access to the Qing market during our war. So, we will try. We shall try. Will it work? Who knows? Who knows? So let's get... Oh, we can speed this up. I said speed this up. Okay. So textile mill in North Borneo. Stuff we will eventually try to sell. So who's in our approaching thing? Our approaching thing. So the armed forces. Who doesn't? The intelligentsia and the industrials. I mean, I get it, guys. I get it, but like, we gotta deal with that. All right, who's our leader currently? So we got an agrarian guy. So we're still early in legal guardianship. We're off of traditionalism. We have slavery banned. We have migration controls. So I actually don't mind migration controls all that much. Obviously, eventually I want to get to know migration controls. But what we're hoping for now is to get some migration from Great Qing or Korea, because both of them will be very highly accepted. And we need some high acceptance. We need some migration of accepted pops. We do have the 5th highest standard of living in the world. Let's see if that counts for anything. Paco el Conquistador. Epic new name, my friend. Yes. Nice to see you on here. Is this a new Twitch account? Did you grace me with your first Twitch experience, or you were already on Twitch? Oh, romanticism. Hello. All right, so what are we going for now? Yeah. So we're basically trying to make our way through level 1 of the society tree. And then once we get through level 1, I kind of want to see, what if we just go straight for human rights? Like, obviously right now it's going to take 27 years, so no. But that's because we're not done with level 1 yet. So, we'll see. Next patch, I'll be a free market opium provider for fun. Yeah, that's gonna be fun, right? Running like drug markets. I feel like trade is gonna be so much fun in this next patch. I cannot wait, because that's the type of thing I do enjoy in this game, and that's gonna be so much fun. So yeah, running like drug cartels, create like opium companies that are basically drug cartels. No is an old one. It had no profile image and a generic name, so I edited. Nice. Nice. Well, hey, consider following this account on here, and you'll get alerted when I'm on Twitch. I have a fun little message that's supposed to pop up when I go live on Twitch. I have no idea if it does, now that I think about it. It's not drugs, sir. It's alternative medicine. Yep. That's what they tell you. That's what they tell you. You know, something I love messing with people with. I have type 1 diabetes, and I'm on an insulin pump. And this is my insulin pump. This is my phone. My insulin pump. When I pull out my phone sometimes, and then I pull this out because it looks like a phone, people are like, "Oh, is that your drug phone?" And I'm like, actually, yeah, kind of is. It's my phone that gives me drugs. All right. Let's see what these guys want. The editor of the Lanfang Tribune has come forward and offered to support the Property to Women law if we help them out with some funding. I think we can swing this. Just 100. It's asking you for your phone number. That's weird. Twitch is a little invasive at the moment, huh? Alright, so our moderate industrialist, or this general. Do we like this general? No, he gets morale loss. He does get... He has mountain combat expert. So they kind of balance themselves out. What about this guy? Does he actually help the industrialists? No, this guy doesn't help the industrialists. We're gonna let this duel go because I want one of. I'll be happy if either of them die. Ah, so our industrialist died, and we got protectionist Sun Zhang. All right, so we got a little bit of political strength for them. Alright, well, not bad. We got 5% interest group political strength. I would like them to be a little more powerful. Alright. Oh, we can unpause here. What am I doing? We do need to balance this budget out a little bit. How much are we getting off of this? Oh my god, I got excited for a second. I was like, we're the #1 producer of liquor? And I realized, no. That's Ching. So we're getting 250 pounds off of 100 authority. Hey! Paco El Conquistador. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome to Twitch. We're not welcome to Twitch, I guess. Welcome to my Twitch. Oh, look at this. Okay, so we're going to stop taxing this. We'd get much more money. Oh, I didn't realize that was 200 authority. Alright, so fine. Liquor it is then. You know what? You know what? That region was known for being the Spice Islands. But spices ain't a good. Yeah, please, Paradox Fix, please. I've heard some people mention that. It is kind of weird, right? That spices aren't, like, a thing in the game. And yeah, especially for, like, this region, right? But it's such a staple good, you know? Like, when you're looking at goods... I don't even know what would be, like, the substitute good for it, right? There really isn't one. Because it wouldn't really be groceries. This is, like, mass-produced, you know, like food industries. It wouldn't really fall under grain. Yeah, there's nothing. I suppose there's a mod out there for it. There's a mod for everything. But no spices in the base game. Yeah, kind of weird, right? Oh wait, lots of things are weird. The game has a good overall structure, but has some weird shit. Yeah. Every now and then there's like something kind of wacky that you encounter in the game, right? But I guess, I suppose, if you're like trying to simulate the entire world's population and all the goods and all that stuff over the course of 100 years, you're gonna get a couple wacky things, right? But I suppose we're at the time point now where things should be fixed. Also, I want some goods to do better, such as meat. Oh, okay, that's what I was about to mention. I'm from Argentina, and I want to roleplay how my nation got wealthy in this timeline, but ain't possible. Oh, okay. Sunny Day Enjoyer. When you're done with my stream, Don't leave my stream for this. But you have to watch the stream that Victoria 3 did yesterday, showing off the new stuff. So like I said, they started a run as Argentina, and they wanted to show off the new like prestige goods and the new companies and the trade system. And one of the new prestige goods Argentina has is meat. And there's a company you can get called River Plate Beef, I think it's called. And so they were basically trying to create like a very big beef export heavy economy. So you'll probably really enjoy seeing what they did there. The other day was playing as Argentina, and the south, like Patagonia, was a jungle. At least the models for the trees. That place is really, in reality, is more like Switzerland. Yeah, let's go take a look at that. Oh, that's epic. Yeah, right? Oh my god. The whole prestige good thing looks like it's going to be so much fun. Here we go. I thought there was one called... Yeah, that's what I thought. This is Patagonia. Yeah. It looks just like kind of like tundra. Doesn't look like there's much here. Oh, well, we're out of Patagonia. Oh, here's some greenery. Just very flat. It's both Siberia and Switzerland. Oh, the Chile part. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying here. Yeah, here's some trees. Man, I want to visit Patagonia someday. Someday when I have money and time. I say as I sit and play a video game. Okay. There are pine models in the game. Canada has them. Let's take a look at Canada. So where it would be like... Ah, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, put something like that down there. You know, I find too, I never like spend enough time zooming in and just appreciating the map in this game. I do love it. Alright, so we got our textile mill. That should be very profitable in the Qing market here. Yeah, see, we need more qualifying. We could try to start doing some universities. Now we're teetering around debt, which makes me a little nervous, because we're still a small country and we can't really do that. If we could get up here, we could get more authority, but it wouldn't really work for us. Well, I'm too from Argentina, and the game is not made for small economies like Argentina in the 19th century. I don't know. You should go take a look at my Paraguay stream. I actually think the next run in South America I want to do is Argentina. Either Argentina or Chile. But I'm trying to, like, work my way around the globe First one I did was Congo, then Paraguay, then Transvaal, then I went over here to Afghanistan. Now we're over here. So I think next I want to do something in North America, and then we'll come back down and do Argentina. I'm trying to stay out of Europe a little bit because there's some DLC coming. Like there's going to be a DLC focused over here. So like a Serbia run might actually be a lot of fun. Maybe like a Romanian run. And then there's supposed to be an Iberia DLC. So maybe a Portugal. Problem is Portugal is still a little too big for me. I like to only play as small nations. But we'll see. But Argentina is one of the countries I have on deck. So they'll be the next South American country. But I think the next region I want to play in is North America. So I got to figure out who in North America I want to be. Haiti's a possibility. I seriously considered doing Canada for this stream, but decided to go with Lanfang because I didn't do anything in Southeast Asia yet. Oh, good. We only have 5 years left with the incorporation of North Borneo. We really need that. Another cute change would be to allow inland provinces with a river with access to the sea. Oh, to be allowed to build ports. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, they have the whole new thing coming with the world market, and you can gain access to the world market through another country if you're landlocked. But yeah, if you have access to... Actually, yeah, you make a good point, because the thing I was wondering, because I was looking up maybe doing a Canada run, right? And so you look here at Upper Canada. Upper Canada doesn't border... You can't do a port here. But you're on the Great Lakes. And the whole thing of the Great Lakes is that you have the Erie Canal, which would connect you to the Hudson and back out. That's the whole reason why New York City became such an economic powerhouse, because boats coming in from the Atlantic could go through there and get up to the Great Lakes here. So Upper Canada should have access to the sea, and yet it doesn't. Yeah, other Paradox games do. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, historically, Argentina... Oh, so historically, I see. Argentina didn't have actual factories until the 20th century. Wait, where's my country? There we go. At the start game, Argentina is in small halt fire state in a bigger civil war process. Oh. Yeah, I've always wondered about that. Yeah, because at the game start, Argentina... Well, it's Argentina right now, but it starts off as like the Argentine Federation. I always find the little name changes interesting, so I've wanted to look up the history on that. Part of the reason why I like playing this game, usually when I start a run that I'm really going to commit to, I like looking up the history on them. Like this one, I looked up some stuff on Lanfang and found some interesting things about them. So I would do that with Argentina, too. Despite not enjoying full rights under Lanfang law, some wealthier Dayak people have begun moving into neighborhoods and frequenting establishments they would normally be excluded from. Well, we can take a little bit of a hit on the petite bourgeoisie and get some loyalists. Yeah, so we'll do that. Argentina wasn't really politically stable until the 1860s, just as most South American nations. Yeah. Yeah, that's why one of my favorite DLCs in this game is Colossus of the South. Playing anything in South America is so much fun. Even, I have to, like, I love playing, I mean, this is going to sound stupid because this is like most of South America. Like, I love playing as Paraguay. I love playing as Argentina. New Granada / Gran Colombia is so much fun to play with. I even did an offline run one time as Brazil. And considering Brazil is a very large nation, I generally don't enjoy playing as nations like that in the game, but even that was kind of fun. I find all of the flavor for South America very fun in this game. Alright, we're getting our navy. We're getting our navy. So that means we finished up. So we have the textile mill here. Oh, we're having an issue with iron. Why are we not hiring here? Alright, we're going to need iron for a lot of things, so let's just subsidize this for now. In 1845, there was a very important battle between Argentina, the United Kingdom, and France, which Argentina won. I think, yeah, over navigation of the Parana River. Without navigable rivers, it makes no sense to represent such an important event in the country's history. Ah, yeah, that's an interesting point, right? I thought you were going to talk about, what was that one war? Was it over this island? They call it the South Atlantic Islands, but I feel like it's actually called something else, right? Wasn't it like Argentina and Great Britain fought over this island or something like that? I remember watching something about this and I found it very, very interesting. Like a piece of history I hadn't known about. And I guess clearly I didn't remember enough about, embarrassingly. Alright, so let's... Oh, we don't have anything we can demand on them. Oh, that war was out of time frame. Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah, see, I can't remember when that happened. It was during... Oh, really? That was the 1980s? Okay. For some reason in my mind, I was like, it was a long time ago. I don't know if it's this time frame, but I would not have guessed the 1980s. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, the Falklands for the British and the Malvinas for us. Ah. Yes, that sounds familiar. I didn't realize that was the 1980s. Or I mean, I didn't remember that was the 1980s. Felt like it was longer ago. Although I guess to be fair, at this point in time, the 1980s was 40 years ago. Such a sad thing to say out loud. Alright, we need to lower our reliance on their market. And so grain is a big one. Okay, so we have got to look at our grain here. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Oh, but Lanfang, we can only do 2 rice farms. Okay, here we can do a little more. So we can do... What does this give us? Each one... will give us 40. So before we finish these navies, let's work on the rice farms. Oh yeah, but we are running out of people. Alright. Yeah, we're running out of people. It would be nice if we could get a greener grass campaign. Alright, I don't want to... I hate... We usually do not want to go higher than mid-level taxes. What are we spending our money on? Yeah, I mean, 800 to Great Qing, that's... Great. Oh wait, what are we subsidizing? Oh, the iron mines. So are they still... So are they not profitable? Okay, so we don't need to... But tooling is not profitable. Yeah, let's do that. Also, I don't know how they would represent the Triple Alliance War. Since Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay went to war with Paraguay, didn't end well for the latter as you may guess. Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, in the dev diary for the new diplomatic agreements they talked about, which also looks fantastic, the new like way that you can live negotiate with countries, but they did mention they haven't figured out a way yet to make multilateral alliances. So it is still just agreements between two countries. So I guess they wouldn't be able to do that. It was a funny war with zeppelins and all. Oh my god. Paraguay had some ruler who thought he was Napoleon or something. Yes. Well, they do. They represent that in the game. The Paraguay run that I did, you get an event that's like the Napoleon of the Americas or something like that. I forget what the person's name was, but there's a character that appears, and you have the choice to like embrace this character or like, you know, like not embrace them. And we were going for a certain journal entry, so we did embrace them. I forget who it was though, but yeah, they do have that in the game. What do we have here? A popular set of travel writings by a female author have been published, lending support for the propertied women law. Alright, good. We really need to get this law. Oh, look at that. Yeah, we can afford this. So, alright, so our next checkpoint is August 1st. So we really need to work on this, because this will give us more workforce. Paraguay had to permit polygamy, multiple wives to recover population. Oh. Argentina and Uruguay left the war early, but Brazil went carnage. Oh, wow. So once again, okay, kind of a interesting historical tidbit for the Paraguay run we did, because that is probably the most difficult part of starting as Paraguay in this game, is that you have so few people. You have so few people to work, so you really, at least at the game start, have to really strategically pick what you're going to build, because you're not going to be able to staff everything. So that's why then, huh? Brazil went carnage on them. Alright. We need many things. I think we might just have to like go for it, get the construction sector going, and hope that they just buy a building. Honestly, at this point, I'm willing to let Qing buy one of the buildings. If we can just get... I hate to do it, but... Oh, we can use some dye workshops. Yeah, there we go. Make this a little more profitable. Well, we're increasing a little bit here. Yeah, well, let's get out of debt, I guess. Military wages are a big one. The barracks. That's interesting, though. Because we have our military wages all the way down. We don't have a large military. So the barracks in Lanfang. Do we have access to glass? Oh, we do. Alright, so let's utilize this. And what is the Qing going right on coal? So they have coal mines, but they're not being used. Alright, well, we're not going to utilize that then at the moment. So we're waiting for August 1st, so we're almost there. The whole continent in that era was bloody and unstable. Argentina's starting ruler, Juan Manuel de Rosas, was arguably the worst ruler ever. Dude had a special task force called the Mazorca to hunt down dissidents and rule with an iron fist. Wow. So what's the general time period of De Rosas? Is that in this game's time frame, or is that like right before we get to Victoria 3? Oh, that's a very libertarian view of history. I'm not a Rosist, but also not a libertarian. Oh, interesting. I know a libertarian. I don't know what a Rosist is, though. That's if libertarian is the same thing here in the United States and it is in Argentina. Same, but I don't like Rosas. Oh, well, a Rosas. Okay, so yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, somebody who likes De Rosas. Mostly it is. Okay. Yeah, I have to say I'm not... Oh, debate failed. Not a big fan of... Wait, hold on. Factories in Lanfang have been reported to be placing Bornean people into roles with incredibly poor work conditions owing to their status as second-class citizens in Lanfang. You know, we need to be careful. We don't want to... We've been taking a lot of hits to the petite bourgeoisie. We don't want to go too much. We can afford a few radicals at the moment. Oh, but... all Lanfang states get -2 standard of living. I mean, that's not so bad, but we are trying to get people to move here. We'll take this. I don't want to lower the standard of living. The relatively lenient Lanfang immigration system has long been attractive to those fleeing their home nations. Recently, Yushimbu Nair has petitioned to join the stream of people. So what's your deal, buddy? Petite bourgeoisie, Minotaurian traditionalist. Yeah, no. You... Oh, well, you're neutral on property to women. Eh. Yeah, I don't want to waste our agitator on this guy. We can afford to take the hit to the industrialist, so we'll do that. Conservative and liberal terms are very different, but the libertarians are practically the same. Exactly, in Argentina, being liberal doesn't mean being progressive. Yeah, see, I know generally, like, not specifically for Argentina, but I just know in general, like, the word liberal means something slightly different elsewhere in the world than it does here in the United States. That's why I'm always kind of hesitant when people are like, the Liberal Party or any type of party, because I'm always like, oh, there might be slight differences than what they are here, or major differences. Although I have to say our Liberal Party isn't being very progressive either in recent history, so maybe our Liberal Party is maybe coming more in line with the rest of the world and not necessarily meaning progressive. Publicized accounts of discrimination against Confucian people in Sulu have led the Confucian scholars to begin lobbying for a hostile stance against Sulu. I mean, okay, I don't want to take the radicals, so fine. I don't really care about that country right now, to be honest with you guys. I'm going to try a mod, Patria Grande, a better... Oh, Hispano-America. My later run with Argentina was okay. I ended with a 20 million GP, nice, with a 6 million pop. So it was okay. That's pretty good. I'd take that as an Argentina run. But yeah, you'll have to tell me how the mod is. I'd love to know. Any type of extra stuff to South America would be awesome. Because, like I said, it's already so much fun to play as any of the South American countries. I'm a bit of an achievement hunter, and so there, because of the Colossus of the South DLC. Well, I'm a bit of an achievement hunter, and I also don't like to play as like great nations in the game, and like European nations as well. And so there's because of the Colossus of the South DLC, there's a lot of achievements in South America. So I think that's also what leads me to it so much. Here being liberal is the opposite of being progressive. It's more aligned with Trump, at least in social stuff. Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. Wow. I'd just love to see like a tourist in Argentina being like, oh, there's a liberal rally going. Let's go. Let's see what it's like. Being like, what the what? All right. So our next move here, we're building up a little bit of a buffer. I think what we're going to try to do, we'll finish this rice farm. Wait, did we already get... Oh, we already got intensive agriculture. Okay. So what is... God, yeah, I could use fertilizer. But economically, liberals here are about free market, no tariffs, no regulations, all that stuff. God, that is wild to me. That is wild to me. Because that's basically... here in the United States, the Republican Party, like, to a T, and they are the conservative party of the country. So that's just so funny. That's like, you're right, it's like the exact opposite of what it means here. You could say liberal in social stuff, and you will be understanded. There is some consensus about that the current president is liberal in economics but conservative in social stuff. Oh, that's interesting. See, what's funny is, like, here in the United States, there are a lot of people who describe themselves that way. There isn't necessarily a specific party for them, but they'll say, like, the line here in the United States is like, I'm socially liberal but fiscally conservative. Like, that's the line you'll hear. Uh-oh. Hold on. And so that's kind of what that is, or kind of, oh wait, sorry, kind of the opposite of that. They'll say like, yeah, I am socially liberal but fiscally conservative. So I guess kind of the opposite of what you're saying there. So like conservative on the social stuff but liberal on economics. Unfortunately, here, the people who are like for like free market, no regulation, are also conservative on the social stuff. All right. What happened to our government? So let's slow down for a second here. So who was it? We need the literati to be in government. They're going to join the Free Trade Party. I don't mind that. Let's get them out of there. So we could do this. We're going to gain some radicals, but we can still continue to pass the law. It's a it's a Ben Shapiro government. Oh God. Oh my lordzos. Not a good thing. The Anti-Sulu Society has requested that we declare a rivalry with Sulu. Successfully acting on the proposal will gain our government significant goodwill. Alright, let's see who joined that again. Confucian scholars. Ooh, okay. If we can make them happy, we'll get more authority, which we can use for more taxes. So... Oh, that's right, these guys. Yeah, they don't like us anyway because we took part of their land. So they want us to declare a rivalry with them. That's fine. Let's do it. Frustrated with the lengthy legal process surrounding property women, Sun Ji of the literati has approached us with an offer to expedite the process, utilizing his personal connections within the state apparatus. God, I don't want to piss off the landowners anymore because we can't really afford to get to noble privileges. I guess, yeah, we'll just add enactment time. Also, liberals here advocate for total freedom of speech. Last government, socialists tried to apply political correct speech, but it backfired horribly since it doesn't go well with culture. Interesting. Wasn't socialist. You have a good old-fashioned Argentinian political debates going on. I love it. It was more like a Democrat party. Okay. I remember when I was in grad school, my two roommates were these two guys from France. And it was right around the time of like the French presidential elections. And I woke up one morning, it was like a Saturday, and I heard yelling in the kitchen. And these guys mainly like spoke English around me. I woke up and there was this heated yelling match in French in the kitchen. And one of the guy's girlfriends kind of lived with us, and she was there. And I could see she was just like, ugh. And I walked into the kitchen. I'm like, I looked at her. I'm like, what's happening? And they're like, oh, they're arguing about the election. So I got to hear a heated yelling debate in French about the French presidential elections, and I loved it. Didn't understand a damn thing what was being said, but it sounded cool. I forget which election that was now, because it was so long ago. Okay, it's time to stop messing around. We're gonna get this construction sector so we can start selling buildings to our industrialists. The president says it was socialist. He also said Lula, the Brazilian president, and Petra, the Colombian one, were commies. I'm studying political science, so I'm on the categories. Okay. Interesting. So the current government in Argentina is this Liberal Party, or is it a different party right now? What's happening with this Navy base? Are we not hiring? Okay, now we are. Yeah, we really, yes, it's called Liberty Forward or something on that line. Okay. Parties in Argentina are usually short-lived since they kind of work on blocks. Oh, interesting. Supporters of Free Trade Party have gone beyond simply campaigning for their own party, harassing and sometimes physically attacking opposing partisans. See, I don't want to lose momentum for the Free Trade Party. If we do this... we don't have century-old parties like running and being relevant. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, yeah, here in the United States, what's interesting is we have the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and they've been around for a long, long time, but their ideologies, like, basically, like, they traded ideologies at a certain point. And so like people will always say like Abraham Lincoln was part of the Republican Party, but it's funny because the Republican Party at that time was basically what the Democratic Party is today in terms of like base ideologies. And here in the United States, like, it's always been a two-party system, and we've had different parties, but they've always fallen under the same line because... Oh, we got a new president. Hold on, I'll finish that thought in a second. All right, we got the Free Trade Party winning. That's interesting. So, okay. So the Free Trade Party won. The Agrarian Party got quite a bit. Ah, there we go. Okay, I can live with this. Oh, well, and that's what we had already. Okay. Let's see. We would categorize as the last government as progressive, populist, and protectionist, but defended private property, so wasn't socialist. I remember they did try to expropriate a food company, but couldn't do it. Interesting. So, progressive, populist, and protectionist, but defended private property. That's funny because that's kind of what our quote-unquote liberal party, Democratic Party, is here. Because the idea of any type of like public ownership of anything is kind of dicey here. There is a wing of the Democratic Party that is for it, like they call themselves Democratic Socialists, and they're not for like the seizing of everything, but or the seizing of anything really. And so defending private property is like a basis for like both parties here. Despite not enjoying full rights under Lanfang law, some wealthier Bornean people have begun moving into neighborhoods and frequenting establishments they would normally... Yeah, we need to keep the acceptance of Bornean people high because they are like such a large part of our country. Yeah, see, now the petit bourgeoisie are pissed. But you're going to be even more pissed because that's just what we're going to do. Alright, so representing his constituents in the literati, Sun Qi has issued a formal petition to the Lanfang government to pass guaranteed liberties. Yeah, I mean, I can live with that. I don't mind that. We'll do that next. A company that trafficked in grain, our main export, it wasn't expropriated in the end due to internal problems within the bloc. Yeah, see, for us here, everyone always talks about how it's a two-party system and they wish it wasn't a two-party system. But it's interesting because we've always had the two-party system in the United States because essentially everything kind of falls down to this idea of should there be more autonomy to the individual states in the country, and people will use the phrase states' rights, or should power be more concentrated into the federal government? And that's what both parties have fallen That's where the split of both parties have been for the entire existence of our country. And we've had like different parties, like we had the Whig Party at one point, um, and we've had like different party names, but that split of ideology has just always been the basis for everything. And people here kind of lose sight of that sometimes. Argentina, due to its distribution of votes in parliament, tends to form blocs and alliances of parties rather than a two-party system. There are older parties. Peronism dates back to 1945, and the Civic Union from 1890, which are the country's main parties. You can just imagine most Argentinian parties as some sort of ideological Frankenstein, as most of them focus on short-term issues, rarely on long-term ideology projection. In that we agree. You found some common ground there. I mean, I would say that's the problem we're facing here in the United States right now, too. Like, the two parties we have here, and I would, in my biased opinion here, I'd say largely the Republican Party, too, are just, everybody is focused on such short-term thinking that it's hard to have consistency in our country. I mean, you think about the leaders we've had. We went from George W. Bush to Barack Obama to Donald Trump to Joe Biden and back to Donald Trump. I mean, that's just kind of like a wild swing of ideologies. In a legal case that has grabbed the attention of the whole country, a judge has ruled that domestic violence is grounds for divorce. Well, thank you. All right, we are at a 52% success chance if we don't get out of sponsorship. I say this all the time. I feel like I need to get a better line, but I'm gonna flip this desk if I don't get out of this sponsorship stage. For example, imagine a party with Bernie Sanders stands, Trumpists, Democrats, libertarians, etc. That in Argentina would exist. I mean, so I can kind of see that. I mean, we kind of had that problem in 2016 when Donald Trump first ran, because in the primary for the Democratic Party, when it was Bernie Sanders against Hillary Clinton, the like ultra diehard supporters of Bernie Sanders were like this block of like 20 to 30-year-old men who got the nickname of Bernie Bros. And when Bernie Sanders lost, they were so upset that not everybody, and I don't even think a significant enough that this like factored into the election, but there were a large number of them that either like kind of floated with voting for Donald Trump because they were so pissed off at Hillary Clinton for winning, or there was a large chunk of them that were saying like there was this guy, I forget his name, but he was the libertarian candidate, so he was like one of the minor candidates. And so they all started saying like, oh, I'm going to go vote for that guy, the libertarian. And it just boggled my mind because Bernie Sanders and libertarianism are just like opposite ends of the spectrum. So, yeah, I can kind of see that, unfortunately. But here, libertarians tend to fall on the side of the Republican Party and so the Conservative Party. So that tends to be what happens. Though not all. There are some libertarians that are disenfranchised with the Republican Party as well, but they mainly in this country here side with them. Oh. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it pinged you for links. I don't understand this. I thought I always set the chat moderating bot. Like, if somebody is following me, it shouldn't use the same rules. But I think it pinged you for that, for the link. You still have continuity in terms of economic and foreign policy, and a generally stable economy. Argentina, you still have continuity in terms of economic and foreign policy, and a generally stable economy. I mean, not in the last 3 months, I'll say. Argentina doesn't. Look at the country's economic growth since the 1960s. Um, if we're looking as far back as the 1960s, the last 5 months in this country have been I'll say a shit show, and so continuity, unfortunately, eludes us at the moment. At some point, the logical take is to just focus on results, and that's it. I don't care if it's right or left wing, as long as economy and safety are stable. Yeah, this is true. I mean, I would agree with that. I think, though, the problem, or at least the problem here in the United States, is I think what we're finding is people have wildly different definitions of safety and stability. Like, unfortunately, people find the idea of like somebody coming here as a refugee something that makes their life unsafe. And so I think that's the problem, is that we're finding, at least in the United States here, people have different opinions of what safety and stability means. Okay, so hold on. I paused here. So because we are going into some debt. So there's no state with both sufficient infrastructure and available workforce. Yeah, so that's fine. But what I want is for you to buy something. So let's try to sell this textile mill. And I want... Yes, there we go. Ah, this is a financial district in Lanfang. I want to get a financial district in North Borneo. But that did give us a healthy economy here. Okay. It's a World Bank link. It's furry shit. Hold on. Let me see if I can ease up the settings here for a second. Let me go to my cloud bot. One moment. Link. Oh, hold on. I'm supposed to be able to type. Permit. Look at that. Look what happens when you look at stuff. And then the screen name. Paco el Conquistador. Okay, try posting a link now. It told me typing that should allow you to do it. Ugh, they lied to me. You lied to me. Okay. Yeah, let me just ease the setting. All right, there you go. You should be able to do it now. Well, there, I just turned off the sensor on links, so you should be able to post it now. Okay. Look at that economy. So let's do this. Aha, there you go. Now it worked. All right, let me open this up. Oh my god. Line go up, line go down, line go up, line go down. Yeah. That is an unstable economy. Oh my god. Oof. I laugh because I saw you post "that's an unstable economy" before the image popped up. So I was like, "Oh, let's see what this is." And then whoa. Yeah, imagine having that heart rate. Yeah, right? You know the economy is unstable when if it was a heart rate graph, you'd be dying. Or at least having a heart attack. Oh, and okay, look, so we got to study. So that's good. So April 24th, we wait for. So we have the first construction sector on board. All right, so we're doing a fertilizer plant here. That's good. Problem is we're building all this stuff, but we don't have anybody to work it. Actually, is the most unstable economy in the world, but Turkey is closing up. Yeah, let me look at that again. Like, is that still going on? Oh yeah, 2020 to 2023. Yeah, so it's still bouncing around like that. Oof. That's rough. That is rough. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Lanfang is doing a little better than that. Because I know that's what we all care about. We are technically growing again. Okay, that's good. That's good. As long as everything's going up. I mean, you could say, at least, yeah, looking at like 2020, you had the same GDP growth during the pandemic that you did in like 2002. And you could say in 2020, I mean, you pretty much had the same GDP growth as the rest of the world. So there you go. That's trying to look at the bright side. You know, if you want to be a sunny day enjoyer, always look at the bright side. That will last a year at most. Pessimist. I like it. In good company. I am also a political pessimist. Nowadays, I used to be a political optimist. I am becoming a pessimist. To be fair, with fiscal surplus, I'm not afraid of low growth since we ain't getting new debt. All right, look at this. We got to voting. This is going to be so helpful for us. I also... Okay, good. So let's try to get a greener grass campaign going in North Borneo. Also, we are not hiring... It says it's going up, but it's just not. Okay, guys. Why do we have 4 levels of tobacco plantations in Lanfang? Like, we have 20,000 people working the tobacco plantations. How much will it cost us to take one of them? 100K. And let's close it down. So now we should be able to hire some of that stuff. Oh my god, Streamlabs. Reroll ain't new debt. Private construction loves its tobacco. Yeah, tobacco and arts academies, though we haven't gotten the arts academies yet. It dinged you for symbols. All right. Streamlabs moderator, you're going wild today. Okay. I've turned off I've turned off the moderation for now so that it stops intruding. In my last run, I had like 20 tobacco plantations queued in the private construction. Yeah, the problem is because technically it is profitable in the Qing market here. Problem is I can't be Qing's tobacco provider right now. I need other people to employ here. Okay, come on August 12th. Give us some new workers. Despite not enjoying full rights under Lanfang law, some wealthier Bornean people have begun moving into neighborhoods and frequenting establishments they would normally be excluded from. Whoa, do we have the petite bourgeoisie? Wow, what happened to you guys? I mean, I don't mind it, because then we don't have to worry about pissing them off anymore. Zhu Zhang retired, we now have a traditionalist. Alright, we're about to get to August 12th. Give us some good news. Ah, for poopin' sakes. Lawmakers working towards the enactment of propertied women have found themselves marred in a particularly complex set of bureaucratic proceedings, grinding the work towards reform to a near halt. Alright. Damn. I don't really want to lose 5% bureaucracy. We'll take the 10. Alright, we're actually at an hour and a half. We went way past an hour. Alright, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, get another drink, and I will be right back. 60 seconds. All right, and we're back. Ooh, chat's been going. What did I miss here? What did I miss? Let me go back. That's nominal debt that scales with inflation. In a context of high inflation, debt grows with it. It grew 33%. This government is expending bonds like crazy. All right, we are having an economics debate on a Victoria 3 stream. I love it. I can hear the two of you like, ham cuts, shut up, get out of it. We're in the middle of this. Oh, wait, yes. Sunny Day Enjoyer. Having an economy argument fits with this game. Yeah. There you go. All right, let's speed this up here. All right. All right, so we're getting sulfur and then fertilizer in North Borneo here. What do we have left to sell? No urban buildings. We could sell agricultural stuff. I don't necessarily want to sell the iron mines because eventually we're going to have a company that we want. And we were talking about inflation in pesos. The graph I sent it was in dollars. Interesting. We could be talking in Spanish, but we prefer to include you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, is the because I know like here in the US we're suffering from high inflation as well. Is it a higher rate than than elsewhere? Hold on, let me bring that back up. Yeah, because this is in Spanish, so I can't really tell. Oh, well, I can get I can get the general sense here. Freaking hype getting higher. Tell the Fed to stop printing. Yeah, if only. If only we could tell. I would like to tell the Fed a lot of things right now. Mainly stop doing a lot of things. You know, maybe like stop tariffing the world right now. Doesn't quite make any sense. One of the things I'm excited for when the new Victoria 3 update comes out. There's going to be all the new intricate tariffs that you can do. I can't wait for the Victoria 3 Reddit to pop off with memes about the United States and tariffs. There's going to be a lot of great content you can create with this game in regards to how ridiculous tariffing is. All right, here we go. Give us something good, please. December 20th. Ah, yes. All right. Although we are, what is it we're suffering? Heat wave. Oh, hot. I was like, a heat wave. It's December. I forgot. South of the equator. All right. Um, oh, well, does the Federal Reserve tariff? Didn't it? No, no, no. Yeah. Yeah, it is the executive. Well, no, technically, the tariffs are supposed to go through the legislative, but our executive branch has been creating tariffs, and the legislative branch, controlled by his party, does nothing. And so essentially, the executive is doing the tariffing. But no, yeah, the Fed doesn't do it. Um, the last government left the inflation at 224% monthly inflation. Oof, damn. Okay, yeah, so a little bit higher than the world average. Okay, so now workplace ratio's gone up. We can also get workplace ratio up if we make the trade unions happy. We should sell something. We don't have anything to sell. The U.S. government controls the national commerce. Here it goes through the private companies. The executive versus legislative versus judicial struggle. We share the same person. Yeah, that's essentially our whole government right there. The problem is all three branches are pretty much controlled by one party right now. Even though the judicial is supposed to be free of parties, they kind of aren't. The U.S. government controls the national commerce. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Because I would say here it goes through private companies mainly as well. I mean, our government tries to regulate, but one party does not like regulations, and so a lot of them are getting cut right now. And so it's kind of like private companies get to do as they wish. Oh, we need to do guaranteed liberties. That is actually what we need to do next. Okay. So we're having a problem hiring here, even though it says it's going up. Oh, that's why. It's hiring like 8 people at a time. Yeah, I feel like the Greener Grass campaign is doing all of nothing for us, even though traction is high. Okay, so we got to do something here to kind of make a turn. I don't want to sell the iron mines because I eventually want to create... The first company I want to create is the iron company. Nobody's going to buy this livestock ranch. I mean, I suppose we could put this up for sale. I don't think anybody's going to buy it, though. Oh, wait, did they? Whoa. Alright, they took the logging. Our landowners are pretty low on clout right now. The industrialists are booming. Okay. So that's good. Because, okay, to keep an eye on the prize here, ultimately what we're trying to do is build up the military. Because we need to be able to battle this. Ooh, wait, their military significantly went down. What can we get in terms of... Yeah, look at this. No conscriptable battalions. And even this we would only get 5. I guess because, yeah, it's true. We don't have a lot of people, like, employed in a lot of these places. So I think it's mainly, it's the workforce they hire from. Which kind of voting system? Yeah, that's a good question. What voting system are we on right now? Census suffrage. Whoops. We're also still very early on tech here. Ooh, although we're going to get some infrastructure on this. You have the United States Trade Representative and Department of Commerce. Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. Here the companies trade without intermediation with the exterior. Oh, so there are sectors that aren't very controlled. This was all the earlier discussion about the expropriation of a company for trafficking in grain. I'm going for a Korea run. Non sequitur. Korea runs are a lot of fun. Go for it. There's a specific Korea achievement if you haven't gotten it yet, which is a lot of fun to try to go for. But yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, we have the Department of Commerce, and they're supposed to regulate things. But see, this is always the give and take in the United States, is that we have these things, these departments that are supposed to do this stuff, but we have one party who one of their base ideologies is regulation, and another party whose base ideology is deregulation. And so you can see right now, like we have the Department of Education that is supposed to, among many things, standardize education to a certain degree, regulate education to a certain degree, but right now they're basically trying to deregulate everything, that using the organization that's supposed to regulate to get rid of regulations. And so it's kind of like that across the board. And so we have things like the Department of Commerce, the Federal Trade Commission, but depending on what party is in power, sometimes they are regulating, and sometimes they are actively trying to deregulate. And so it really comes down to who wins an election. And so every 4 years, it's like we're going through a tumultuous change. Exactly. Technically, there's no intermediation, but it was so, and still many regulations that it feels intermediated. Oh no, it's okay. I understood what you meant. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's something to keep in mind that, yeah, even if it might feel like total unregulation to me, it might not be the case compared to maybe elsewhere. But for me, it feels like we're in a moment of no regulation. Just total free-for-all. No potential private constructions to invest in. See, this is what we had before. And so the main problem is... though previously opposing the Guaranteed Liberties laws, Liu Renjan has considered the literati's political position and instead offers support. Do we like this guy? Yeah, it's not bad. A Democrat, I don't mind it. I only stand for key strategic regulations, but the rest, just let the market decide. I don't want to sound disrespectful, but the United States has two very similar parties. For us and in general, the world, Democrats are Republicans, but woke. There's no such thing as a leftist party, for example. I totally agree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. That is the problem we find ourselves in. It's not disrespectful, it's the truth. The supposed left party, so I think part of the problem is, and I'll admit this is me getting into my personal bias politics, but ever since the 1980s with Ronald Reagan started, it wasn't all him, but started this process that pulled the Republican Party further to the right. And in response, it feels like our entire political spectrum has been pulled to the right, which means the Democratic Party, which is supposed to be the left party, when you look at who a Democrat in the United States is now, they're more a centrist. And then you look at like somebody who is an actual like left wing, somebody of left wing ideology, they're looked at as this like radical leftist, right? Because the entire political spectrum has kind of been shifted to the right. And so, yeah, the Democratic and Republican Party, I mean, I would say there are ideological differences, but there isn't enough action from the left in order to really make it matter. And there's no way out at the end of the tunnel. I've been following several communist US YouTubers for a while now. They're idiots, and I say this as a communist. Yeah, I mean, look, let me tell you, as somebody who's grown up in the United States, I can tell you right now, like, one of the things you will find about Americans is most Americans, the average American, could not tell you, they think a socialist and a communist are the exact same thing. That socialism and communism are the same. And couldn't really tell you, not only couldn't tell you what the difference between the two are, but wouldn't know there is a difference between the two. And so, yeah, you listen to like supposed like US communists, and it's like, yeah, it sounds kind of wacky. With the proposal to pass the Guaranteed Liberties Law, members of the government have voiced their concerns about it compromising the nation's internal security. See, the other problem is what gets labeled as socialist, so not even talking about communists at this point, but just what gets labeled as socialist in this country is wild. I mean, we don't have true like socialism, and yet at the same time people will look at any little bit of like government aid as socialism, and not understand the things in their life that are socialist in nature, like a public school system. People will rail against like socialized medicine, being like, oh, it's evil, you can't do this, but then not acknowledge like you were educated by a socialist education system. The public education system is the basis of its structure is socialist. And then like, we had the here's a good example. When Obama tried to create the Affordable Care Act in this country, where basically what that policy was is that private companies were given subsidies and you got to choose a plan from a private company, and the government would give some subsidies to the company in order to make it affordable. And people called that socialism. I'm like, that's not exactly what socialism is. Giving money to a private company is not socialism. Um, I think it's because of the destruction of the Communist Party in '54. There's no longer a party that could seriously educate people, and they all talk, behave, and think like liberals. In politics, I'm just a common sense advocate. I don't care if Ronald can or cannot identify as a dog. If we have 200% annual inflation, just focus on that, please. Yeah. Um, and I think the problem in the United States is people use the social issues to distract people from like the massive inflation and all of the government expenditures that they're doing. And so that's kind of the problem we face here too. Social issues are being used to manipulate people away from actual problems. Hold on, let me open that link. Communist Control Act of '54 outlaws the communist. Yeah, yeah. The '50s were, and communism was a. It was a moment in U.S. history. Oh, law progressed to study. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the '50s, that was just one of many things. I mean, the whole McCarthyism era basically outlawed communism in the United States. Um, I mean, I wouldn't even. I wouldn't say I align with communist ideologies at all. Um, I think to me, any good system is first of all, I'm about to talk about socialism, and it always needs to be stated because of people's misunderstanding here that socialism and communism are two different things. But um, like, I think any good system employs both capitalism and socialism. I think in general, and this is a very big generalization, I think anything that is a necessity for life should be organized under a socialist structure, and anything that's not essential for life can be organized under a capitalist structure. So things like medicine, um, housing, things like that should be socialist and available for all, but like luxury items should still be a capitalist endeavor. Well, what you were saying about subsidies is a bit like what happened here with the previous government. They weren't socialist, they just subsidized businesses. Yeah, yeah. That's kind of like, that's what the left in the United States is, subsidizing businesses. The right tries to do it too, but they basically, well, yeah. Do communists openly advocate for expropriation? I'm not an expert on the matter. Yes, but no. Yes, but could be a long process because expropriation is technically prohibited by our Constitution. Not sure about U.S. one. I can tell you right now, I don't know if the laws, like if it's actually illegal to. Well, no, it's not. It's not actually illegal to operate as a like communist party in the country, but I can tell you right now, just general U.S. Culture, if you openly kind of, still to this day, if you openly kind of identify yourself as a communist, you're not going to get anywhere. Nobody will follow you if you openly identify as that. With reason is permitted, a judge could allow it. And even like things like the government seizure of businesses, I think is just a major political explosion that nobody wants to tackle in this country. More pragmatically inclined members of the armed forces currently opposed to the passing of guaranteed liberties have offered to change their stance were they to be offered certain political concessions. Such concessions would not be popular with the literati, however. Okay, we can do this one. Yeah, we can do this. We can afford the literati to go down a little bit there. I think the same as in the US. Oh, why do we have two different ports? Oh, probably because, yeah, we need the infrastructure. Okay. What's worrying me is we're not getting any hiring. Or the hiring is so slow on this. Oh, hey, Robert SBD, hello, welcome in, welcome in. To ban child labor, not yet. We haven't tackled that yet, just because we're still trying to take over the island. I suppose we could get to that at some point. We can do it before we take over the island, but we've been sidetracked by other things that we've had to tackle. So soon. Good. The children yearn for the mines. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Especially since we are hurting for workers right now. I would love to put the children to work in more than just the mines right now. Let's see. Unless seized assets count as an expropriation. Wish I was a lawyer to know that. Is a type. Expropriation mostly means all the company. In each jurisdiction is different. It's going to be another 200 years until... Oh, it's going to be another 200 years until Minecraft. Yeah, unfortunately, right? Can't put them in the mines until Minecraft comes back. Not in Borneo. In Borneo, the children will be like, Minecraft. I've been doing that for 200 years. Good. They are building a paper mine for us. We still don't have a financial district here, though. That's kind of worrying to me, but whatever. Another damn tobacco plantation. You are killing... And in Lanfang, you are killing me with these tobacco plantations. I just don't get it. Why? Let's see. Oh, wait. I missed a couple here. Oh, a thing that I don't get is each state having its own laws in the U.S. That is wild for us. Let me tell you, it's wild for us here, too. I mean, we're used to it, but it makes things very, very complicated. Like I said, that is the basis of... Oh, why am I all blurry? Of American political discourse since the very founding of the country. what should a state be allowed to regulate on its own, and what should the country? Why am I all blurry on this right now? Like, here's a wild thought, right? In the United States, murder is not illegal on a federal level, other than like murdering a federal official. Murder is a state issue. And so murder is illegal in every state, obviously, but every state has a different law on what counts as murder, what the penalty for murder is. So the murder is illegal on the state level here in the United States, which is kind of a wild idea. Despite not enjoying full rights under Lanfang and law, some wealthier Dayak people have begun moving into neighborhoods and frequenting establishments they would normally be excluded from. Well, once again, the petite bourgeoisie are marginalized, so we can kick them as much as we want. The recently translated works of Wolfgang Bauer, excellent name, have become popular within the liberal movement. The relationship has developed to the point of Wolfgang Bauer openly endorsing the movement. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, there's an achievement for banning child labor as Lanfang. Yeah, that's what we're going for. The goal of this run is to go for the minors, not minors achievement. But we have to incorporate all the states of Borneo as well. So we're kind of... Since that's going to be the bigger issue, we're trying to go for that as well. Yeah, that's the goal of this run, that achievement. Yes, we are a false federal country. If you don't mind me asking, Argentina. Cool, I'm US 2 for better and worse. Yeah, yep, that's kind of how I feel as well, Robert, right now. These United States... Well, that's because of how the country was formed. You come from several different companies. We come from a unified viceroyalty. Can a random governor in the U.S. suddenly create its own quasi-currency? Because it happened way too much over here for my liking. Yeah, no, a state can't do that. At the very founding of the country, every state had its own currency. And from what historians say, it was a shit show. So yeah, currency is federal. And a governor can't actually do that. That's one of the things that they specified there. Why is my thing all messed up? Though, I guess you could say, let me close this for a second. States can issue their own bonds. Which isn't exactly currency, but it is a bond. Alright, let's see. Did that fix anything? I need to get a new camera. What is this nonsense? Is my camera showing up blurry for you guys as well? Because it looks blurry to me. Increased sightings of Qing Covenant members socializing with lawmakers at restaurants and entertainment. Oh, what a good thing to be interrupted by. Are raising concerns about lobbyist conduct. Okay, so who's in this? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we do want to make them happy. So we'll go for we'll go for that. Alexander Hamilton created the National Bank and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Alexander Hamilton kind of made sure no rogue governor was going to be able to do that. Technically, there were no coins here, but they were bonds exchangeable for the national currency. Oh, they functioned as coins in the daily life of many provinces. Oh, that's interesting. And most of them were defaulted anyways. Don't do that, kids. There was a lot of debate early on in each state should have its own currency. Yeah. No, and each state did actually have its own currency for a little bit. Actually, here's an interesting thing. A little bit of history I never knew until this game. Where's the achievement for the U.S.? Yeah, this one, Emperor Norton. As the USA become a monarchy with Joshua Norton as monarch. I'd never heard of this guy before. So when I went for this achievement, I looked him up. So he was in San Francisco, thought that the U.S. should be a monarchy, and he was like kind of like a local hero in San Francisco. He declared himself independent from the United States, and he actually printed his own money that apparently many shops in San Francisco at the time honored and would take his currency. So I guess somebody did create a currency. It does kind of sound like, though, it was just like some random shops in San Francisco took it. But so I guess that's the closest to what you're talking about. The landlords are asking for dedicated police. Weird shit. Oh, you mean in your career run right now? On the bright side, you guys can do it better with everything you know. Oh wait, yeah. Let me scroll up here. Why should South pay for Northern debt, etc.? Yeah. Because they have cotton. On the right side, you guys can do it better with everything you know. That was the South's argument on the whole thing. Mercenary police should be a thing. Mad Max shit. Yeah, that's always a good situation. You just create a Mad Max situation in your country. Alright, I gotta figure out where our construction is going next. We have... what we need... So, I think kind of what our problem is, we have no labor-saving PMs. Honestly, that is like part of our problem. Why we have no workforce. Because we're just trying to get down to human rights so we can get multiculturalism. But I suppose we can try to do something. Problem is we don't have coal. We need to get coal. Now the Qing market says they have coal, but nobody's working in it. So where is that? Yeah, they got coal everywhere. Like, why? I wonder, I mean, why are they not creating a demand for coal? I wish I could build in Qing, to be honest with you. Law Plus has that. Oh, is that a mod? It was a prominent thing in the US in this time, so it should. I'm sure elsewhere too. Yeah, we could do nitroglycerin. Although, wait, no, but this isn't the labor saving. It's actually going to increase it. Well, we're going to have to go Atmo engine anyway. So we'll do that after modern sewage. It's also pissing me off that my camera is blurry. I don't know what to do. What do I do? Do I just like... At what point... Hey, that did it. Sorta, right? There we go. I'm back. Technically, the British Raj was sort of mercenary police. Its army was private and controlled by the company. Yeah, I just had to give the camera the hand. Who knew? Oh, hey, Spain sides with Sulu. What's going on here? Can I get in this? Nah, nobody wants me in there. All right. God, I said I was going to get up to like 50 construction tonight. But I'm really running into people problems. We have very high attraction. We have the #1 standard of living in the world. We have almost double the average minimum expected. But we haven't gotten any migration. Can we get on no migration controls now? Yeah, there's a strong possibility. Let's get no migration controls. I don't get, though, why we're not getting any migration from Qing or Korea. Hey, we got a second bot. We got a second bot. We only ever get one bot. Aw, thank you, second bot. Goodbye. Go away, bot. There's a caption at it. I love it. Alright, so we got that paper mill now. So honestly, I would like to build a university here. And actually, we're going to need more infrastructure. I hate how the game portrays the whole issue of laws. In Argentina, for example, from 1830 to 1860-70, it was more of an alliance of countries than a country. Yeah, kind of like the United States. The provinces were completely autonomous, often controlling their own international trade and always their own armies. This is why we can't talk about laws or economics like in Vic 3. I would like them to introduce some form of government that's a kind of confederation where all members are independent countries with unified diplo. The game represents this situation of caudilloism. So is that what the God, when I did my Paraguay run, I made sure to look up how to say this, but it's been a while since my Paraguay run. Caudillismo, is that what that is? So it was a system of like independent countries with unified diplomacy? Because that's such a big thing with the South American countries in the game. Where all members are independent countries with unified diplomacy and a unified market, or even with independent markets, as can happen with the power blocks in the game. That's what I was just thinking while you were typing that out. Maybe it would make more sense if the game had all of the states in Argentina as independent countries, but were part of a single power block. Yanni, hey, good morning. Welcome in, welcome in. We've been doing some work here tonight. We've been doing a little bit of work. Caudillos are basically warlords owning their own province. Ah, okay. It doesn't look like we've been doing any work, but, I mean, we have been doing some work. We just have no people. We have no people, and we have no migration. I wonder if we can get rid of the road maintenance here. No. We need the infrastructure. Why do we not? Oh wait, North Borneo is not eligible as a mass migration. Oh. Wait. Are they incorporated yet? No, 6 more weeks. Okay. So, we're wasting the greener grass campaign there. Let's try it here. Alright. Incorporated have at least 20 arable land and 70% market access. Additionally, the state cannot already be the target of a different mass migration, and the country's migration and citizenship laws need to allow migration to happen. In a gesture of solidarity with the Agrarian Party, Liu Renjian has encouraged his supporters to vote for it in the ongoing election. I would like to keep the Free Trade Party in power, so we'll do this. Imagine playing CK3 where dukes have their land under a liege king, but caudillos are under the confederation. Ah, okay, that makes sense to me. That's interesting. The game takes it to the entire continent, which isn't bad technically. All of America had regional military leaders, but with particularities. In Argentina, there was no central state, and the caudillos either opposed each other, as in Mexico, or were on the periphery, as in Brazil. All were caudillos, especially Rosas. Ah, that's interesting. So I wonder why they wouldn't have, with the whole Colossus of the South thing, represented that a little better. Because couldn't you totally just, like, make the states independent states, but put them under a power block? You would have a unified... I guess that wouldn't work though, because there's like a leader of the power block, and you don't have a unified diplomacy. I wonder how they would represent that. They have to create a new kind of, diplomatic system, which they're doing right now. In the midst of the debate surrounding no migration controls, one of the country's leading playwrights, strongly associated with the industrialists, has staged a widely acclaimed play whose politically laden themes makes no secret of the author's desire for the law to be passed. Yeah, let's take the 10%. I really want to get no migration controls here. How much arable land do we have? 2. 1. 12. Yeah, see, that's the problem. We don't have enough arable land. Okay. 1 level of substance building is automatically created for each unused arable land in the state. Oh wait, this is unused arable land though. It's saying though... Yeah, see, this is what I want. Has a high migration attraction compared to the average in the Qing market and may receive immigrants from other states in the Qing market. That's what we really need, because they will be highly accepted. Yeah, just 20 arable land, not unused arable land. Off-topic question. Which you find better? Owning a puppet country or unintegrated states owned yourself. Puppets won't necessarily expand in new regions, and it's still hard to change laws on a puppet. But owning them caused some issues in your own political landscape. Yeah. So, owning a state as unincorporated or setting them free as a puppet. Generally, usually what I do is I'll own it first, unincorporated, because when a state is unincorporated, they have much less... Oh, North Borneo is now incorporated. They have much less political power, so they won't necessarily harm your political landscape too much. Usually the thing that makes me release a country as a subject is bureaucracy. When you need more bureaucracy, releasing a state can give you more because your institutions won't apply there. Although, I gotta double check though, an unincorporated state... I don't know if it... let me look at an unincorporated state somewhere so I can get the tooltip. Oh, come on. I know you guys have unincorporated states around here. Yeah. Oh, well, okay, they don't cost bureaucracy to maintain. But what is the... Yeah, here it is. A state that is within a country's domain but considered a territorial holding frontier state. Frontier beyond the reach of institutions and government pops. Yeah, so the institutions don't apply there. The high prices on groceries have become a prominent talking point in the Free Trade Party election campaign, arguing that their free trade policies would drive down the price. Yeah, that's what I want. So I would say in general, I prefer to own them unincorporated. But there are some situations where you want to release them, but I would say more so than not, you want to own them unincorporated. First, they'd have to implement the provinces properly. Many are unified in the game, which doesn't make sense. There would have to be 14 provinces at that point. It would be as if California and Nevada were unified in the game for some reason. Ah, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, that wouldn't make sense. Fun fact, Equatorial Guinea, West African country nowadays, was part of the Viceroyalty of La Plata. So there's a random African island that is asking to be incorporated in our country using the claim that we were once unified. It's almost unreal. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Twitter ass moment. Twitter, you could just have a Twitter ass. Oh. Well, the keyboard is back now, I see. That's good. Large F. Testing to make huge puppets on a small overlord, making small overlord richer. Have Transvaal, Afghanistan, Bolivian, and huge Formosa as a puppet of Belgian rule, who has only 2 states. Let's think about it. See, also, I think if you have colonial exploitation, it also helps to have those states unincorporated, because in unincorporated state, you get a bunch of benefits like this. So if you have frontier exploitation, I would say hold them as unincorporated, so that you can have a bunch of agricultural buildings there, and then they get all these throughput bonuses. Just make sure you don't build any urban buildings there. Yeah, boredom testing. I do that a lot in this game sometimes. I don't know, it had to be a software thing because a restart fixed it. Oh, interesting. Fun fact, a province in Argentina is called Formosa. It's funny for us realizing that Taiwan is called like our province. Wait, are you saying one of Taiwan's... Wait, where is Taiwan? Are you saying one of Taiwan's provinces is named like one of your states? Wait, also Formosa, I don't remember that one. We have Argentina, Mendoza, Cordoba. Oh, the island. Oh, Robert, you saw the stream from Victoria 3. Yeah, I was telling him about that earlier. Their new Rio Plate beef. The island over the filter. Oh. Oh, Formosa. There it is. Oh. And so this is actually the name of a state in Argentina, is what you're saying? This afternoon, Sun Zhang, leader of the industrialists, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of no migration controls. Yeah, I wouldn't mind this guy having popularity. Ooh, yes, modern sewage. So we'll take the 10% and take his enactment. Yes, under Paraguay. Oh, interesting. Ah. Alright, good. So we got the Free Trade Party. Oh, no more Anti-Sulu Party. Good. Yeah, we could keep it like this. Still can't get those trade unions in there, though. Oh. See, I would like to get the trade unions on solidarity, because we'll get more workforce out of it. We could do this. We'll stay contested. Oh, yeah, look at that. We have very few radicals right now. So let's do this. I want to get the trade unions in the government here. Yeah, I'm very excited for prestige goods. I can't wait to start playing around with that. I'm excited to see, yeah, what they make as prestige goods, because it looks like there's going to be new stuff in the game and new companies. We also have a province called Tierra del Fuego, which means land of fire. Funny, because Azerbaijan means land of fire too. So we have an Azerbaijan and a Taiwan. Everybody just wants to be Argentina in the industrial age. I'm sure you could see why. Why do we have construction inefficiency? Oh, do we not have... Here we do. A mine in North Borneo has collapsed, trapping miners within the dark shafts below. The scale of the accident has made the tragedy a story across North Borneo and the nation. Yeah, see, I want... Oh, this is why. They're pissed. So let's make them not pissed. Although Liu Rengan is still fighting for his cause, no one is following him anymore. Despondent Rengan has started publicly remarking that they may give up. Now, I think, is this the only agitator? Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can go, because I want to get a different agitator. Prominent members of the industrialists, outspoken supporters of no migration controls, and close allies of Sun Zhang have been exposed in a corruption scandal. Yeah, I don't want to take a setback yet. Oh yeah, Sun Zhang. Yeah, you're gonna... Well... Minus 50 popularity. Well, you're gonna take it, because... A man employed by a powerful member of the Qing Covenant is delivering lectures and pamphlets addressed to targeted constituencies in Pontianak. Ooh, plus 5 legitimacy would be very helpful to us. Yeah, let's do that. It's cool unpacking names. Explorers are just dudes saying what they saw. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The prestige goods will be nice flavored to play each nation and like a goal. Yeah, and I think it adds another layer of like of tactics, right? And they mentioned in the stream that in general meat is going to be more valuable in the game because it's just so useless right now. But yeah, you can actually make a specific good just more valuable, so it will help countries that have like a random good like meat. You can make it a prestige good. Tierra del Fuego attacked the North Water Nation. Only the only the Avatar can save them. I was like, the North Water Nation? What? Argentine beef hegemony. I don't know though. It's called the River Plate Beef Company. I feel like all of the Boca players of the game are going to be like, screw that company. I'm not taking the River Plate Company. I feel like there's probably only 2 people in the chat right now who really get that one. We don't have such nice local names. There's some. Shit pond. Wait, hold on, Yanni. Where's we? Or I mean, where are you from? So what is shit pond from? Paskalampi, Hell Ventarjarvi, Hell's Lake, okay, and Varkaus, Theft, and Kalari, Crash. I see you got better ones in Argentina. Argentina didn't start selling meat until late 19th century. Freezers weren't invented yet. Oh, good points. Good point. Brazil would be a nice rubber hegemon. Yeah. We exported pelts mostly. Yeah, I have to say, it wasn't until I started playing this game that I realized I never had actually just thought about it before, but that when you shipped beef for freezing, you just shipped a cow, which makes sense. And I'm not saying I ever thought it was anything different, but it was like one of those things I just never really thought about. How did you ship beef before refrigeration? You just shipped a cow. We also sold wool mostly too. Oh, okay. But I'm thinking, like, in the new update, like, if you start off as Hijaz, right? I guess I've tried a couple starts with this before. You have sulfur and fishing and livestock. Like, here's a place where you could try to really build up livestock ranches and make a prestige good out of meat. Because before, you would start here and you're like, the main thing I have are livestock ranches. Like, I'm not selling anything because nobody buys meat in this game. Also, I'm shocked wool is not as relevant in this game. Yeah, that's true, right? I mean, I guess maybe they're thinking, oh, that falls under fabric. But it shouldn't really, right? But I guess, yeah, livestock ranches, you get fabric, and I always felt like that equates to, like, wool. But it should be a separate thing. People were more self-sufficient back then, only ate what was around, yeah. Self-sufficiency. And then we ruined it by industrializing the world. It was literally the sole economic good of many nations in that period. Oh, Yanni, what are... Phi. Oh, I don't know what that is. Meat is like all animals. Some regions you make livestock ranges. There are no cattle. That depends on the region. Oh. Alright. Law progress to study. This is good. Oh. Alright, let's pause. We gotta sell something here. Wait, do we not... Yeah, we have sulfur. Alright, let's subsidize the sulfur. And then I want to utilize this. Make this profitable, and then we'll sell it. Oh, and we never brought the taxes down. And yet we still have such a high standard of living. It's amazing. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh. That depends on the region. In Argentina's case, it never had a large subsistence economy, unlike Mexico, which had a very large peasantry, or the United States and the farmer culture. Unless we categorize gauchos, southern cowboys, as subsistence economy. So you guys are meat importers. Yeah, meat exporters. What are peons? I've heard of gauchos before. What are peons? Oh, Finland. Ah, Yanni. Okay. I see. Yeah, for some reason on the chat it showed up as a like a weird symbol, and not like anything else. Finland. Okay. Or outlaws. Okay. Gauchos were some sort of frontiermen near the native communities who just did ranching and ran wild outside the state influence. Yeah, that's what I had. That's my like reference for gauchos. They were basically like Mexican cowboys. I don't know if it's specific to Mexico, but at least in relation to the United States, they were like Mexico's equivalent to cowboys and ranchers. Farmlands are farm workers. They are employees who receive basic necessities in addition to money because they live on the same farm. Oh, you can think of them as Cossacks too. Oh, peons are farm hands. Ah, okay. Sorry, I have to. My wife is texting me good night, so you gotta tell her good night. Oh, interesting. Wait, so why? Whoa. Yeah, we seriously need people. We're now hitting debt. What are we subsidizing still? Oh yeah, the sulfur mines. Whoa. Okay. See, I wish I could specify how much I want to subsidize something. Is there an Argentine-Italian mafia? Tar could also be a good product to add for product on example, in the same way as the meat production buildings work in the game. Tar was used in ships before metal became common. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be an interesting good to add in there, right? Since shipping was so important in this, and this is like the time period where we're shifting from wooden ships to metal ships. That's a good idea. That's a good idea for a mod. This idea of gauchos is highly romanticized. In reality, most are agricultural workers, farmhands, very similar to the cowboy in the Wild West. One season you worked for one farmer, another season for another, and you might even get shot if they didn't like you. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the same thing in the United States with the cowboy. Here, the idea of the cowboy is so romanticized, and really you're just like a ranch worker. The Italy of North America. We might be from fairly similar locations, Robert. This guy, yep, we are from similar locations. Okay. So, oh yeah, so we want to sell this. Boom, there we go. It is kind of helping us that, to a certain degree, that the private construction can't build anything. Because it is allowing us to sell things. Alright, we finally got a second fleet. Or a second flotilla. Where Tony Soprano's from. That originally. It's from originally. I'm not there anymore. But very close. But yes, the description of the Italy of North America is very apropos. Or to be able to make charcoal on wood, yeah, right? Yeah, because like that's what people were using to heat their homes. So that was a major resource, right? See, I wonder if like how many more goods you can add to the game before it starts to become like an issue in terms of performance, because it does seem like there are so many more goods in this economic simulator that should be there. So we really would like this naval base to build up, because if we can get 7 ships, we can finally go attack Katai. Oh yeah, getting fertilizer from potatoes, yeah. East Coast, the nice one. And potash from wood. Yep, a good old Yankee right here. Good old Yankee. A Yank, as they call them. Li Kui has challenged Sun Q to a duel to the death. Ooh. I don't really... Oh, well, this Confucian scholar traditionalist, I wouldn't mind dying. Problem, though, is that I like the industrialists and the literati being unified in this free trade party, and it's mainly this market liberal literati that's keeping them together. So I really don't want him to die. So, but if we ban dueling, we're gonna get that. So let's just do that and make them both not popular. The relatively lenient Lanfang, the Lanfangan immigration system has long been attractive to those fleeing their home nations. Recently, Liu Renjian. You were just here, buddy. You were just here. How about no? Yeah, we can take that. All right, let me pause here and look at our agitators. Who can we get? I should have looked at that before I answered the last one. I certainly don't want an authoritarian literati, so I should have just taken this guy. I mean, do I even want him, though? Where? Pacifist. Do I want elected bureaucrats? Ooh, not that one. Oh, yeah. Well, we certainly don't want hereditary. I totally forgot we were still on that. Alright, so maybe... Alright, we'll bring you back in, buddy. We'll bring you back in. Start whistling, Yankee. Wait. Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh my god, why can't I suddenly can't remember the words to Yankee Doodle Dandy. Didn't know Yankee was still a thing until a southern used it in a convo recently, yeah. Yeah, it's not something you say up in the north, but in the south they still use it. Never considered myself a Yankee, but definitely have a case of a northeast elitism. Yeah. I like to refer to it as northeast rationalism at this point in time. How's weather up there? Winter is coming over here down south. There's actually the weather up here is so up and down, it's nuts. There was a TikTok recently of a guy in the area who was bundled up in his coat, and he was like, "It's so nice that we just had that it's now the first day of summer." Yeah, a lot of rain. A lot of rain. An internal investigation has discovered that a government official received many gifts from Sun Kui on behalf of the Lanfangan National Committee. Ooh, yeah, I don't want him to resign. I'll do that. Ah, rain down there, too. Oh my god. What have I been doing with my life? Oops. We never switched over the PM. I can't believe we're about to hit the 3rd hour of the stream tonight and I didn't switch that over. Alright, but we need... See, we need to start getting some mass migrations here. Like, I don't understand why we're not... I don't understand why. It must be... We have to get on no migration controls. Seasons got shifted all around. Should be sunny and warm by now. Clouds felt like taking a pee all over the globe. That's a good way to put it. Had a cold and more snowy than average winter, though. You guys have 4 seasons, right? Like perfect weather, too. Mediterranean. Yeah. It's seasonal over here. Have all 4 seasons. Here it doesn't snow here, at least not in Buenos Aires, where I'm from. If you go further south, it becomes more frequent. Even in Tierra del Fuego, which is very, very cold. I took really nice pictures of leaves turning red and brown during autumn. It used to snow here too. Not so much, not as much anymore. It always pisses me off. I love snow. I don't think I could live anywhere that didn't have snow, and yet now we rarely ever get snow in this area. To outside observers, the industrialists may appear firmly committed to the idea of no migration controls, but behind this facade of unity, discord has long festered. Now, a clique of dissenters have finally had enough and have officially broken with their fellow members over the issue of reform. Come on, we need to pass this. But we're definitely not taking a setback, because we already have one. Yeah, I might just take this. We don't learn enough about Argentina here in the States, which is sad. The American educational system is not known for teaching geography. Yeah. It's one of the things I love about this game. There's so much, like, 19th century history I feel like I've learned from this game. You have mountains, deserts, jungles, prairie, tundras, and steppes. Yeah, I mean, land-wise, Argentina is kind of massive, right? Like, real-life Argentina is like all of this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like history in general. Yeah. It took me playing Vic 2 at 17 to learn Bolivar was a person. No, US doesn't really have any jungles. We have deserts, but no jungles. I wonder if Americans play less paradox games than average because of this lack of interest in geography. I wonder that too. I've always been into like grand strategy games like this and historical games, but not until I started streaming did I realize these games are more, you know, are very big in Europe and other places in the world, and not so much the US. I don't know if I could say if they're big in the US, because here's the thing, it's hard to say what's big in the US, because I think people don't fully understand sometimes just how massive the United States is. Like, we're a country of 380 million people. And so the thing I think that a lot of times a lot of people lose focus of, and including Americans, is that, like, when you're a country of 380 million people, let's say 5 million people are into something, that's like nothing. It's not even a blip on the radar. And yet there's no metric where 5 million people is not a lot of people. I mean, hell, even 10 million people in a country of 380 million people is nothing. And yet 10 million people is 10 million people. So, I mean, I talk about this too in terms of like ideologies that people have. It's like, I can't believe there's people in the country that believe blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, look, in a country of 380 million people, you throw any random sentence together, I can find you 1,000 people that believe it, because we're just so many people. And so even something like this, yeah, like, is this game big in the United States? I mean, I would say the answer is no, but I bet you there's probably like, like millions of people who are into the game here in the US. So in a country of 380 million people, what constitutes something as big, Like, personally, like, I've been a fan of soccer my whole life. And so people will always be like, even since I was a kid, like, soccer isn't big in the United States. And it's like, I mean, it's big now, but like when I was a kid, it wasn't big. But at the same time, there were a lot of people who were into it. And so to say nobody in the United States was into it, I was like, well, there's millions and millions of people who are. So it's hard to gauge things like that. You can fit the Mediterranean Sea inside mainland US. Yeah, so recently I've looked at, let's take a look at the map here. If you put the United States over Europe, Los Angeles would be somewhere over here, and New York would be somewhere over here, right? And so you think about that. The United States, a single country, is like the entirety of Europe. And so that kind of puts things into perspective, right? And oddly, this is actually just an interesting thing I kind of found. If you put the map of the United States over Europe, the city of Atlanta would be in the country of Georgia, which is just kind of a funny coincidence. I've only met a couple of people in real life who like it. I don't know anybody who likes this game. There's nobody in my life who likes this game. I try to explain this game to people, and I can see on their face they're like I say to them, "Oh, it's like an economic and political simulator of the Industrial Revolution." I can see on their face they're like, and that's fun. And I'm like, yeah, actually, it's tons of fun. It's very addicting. I don't know anybody who plays this game though. I think that's why I started streaming it. So it's like I need to find somebody else in the world who likes this. That's why I say more than average. Fulba. USA is crazy big. It could easily fit a few billion people. Yeah, we could. And even now, I'd say we have way too many people. And we haven't even reached 1 billion. Play with this. Oh, hold on, let me look at that. Wait, where's the link? Did it censor it again? Oh, wait. I think this thing messed up. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Yeah, the United States is basically like all of this. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, so you put it over. Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, I like this little tool here. Yeah, look at that. Like, we fit over like all of Europe, big chunk of Africa. Like, we are just a massive, massive country. Argentina is very sparsely populated, though. Well, you know, the United States is kind of like that too. If you look at a map of where people actually live in the United States, you kind of get a similar thing. Yeah, Alaska itself is half of the USA. I know, it's true, right? Like on the maps, like here's here's the United States, and then Alaska and Hawaii are like the little box. Let me see if I can do it like down here, and it makes them look much smaller when really they're the whole country. It's a lost cause talking and teaching this. I quit backturning you for, yeah. It's like Age of Empires. We are the size of China or bigger and a third of the population. Yeah, I don't know how China does it with that many people in a country. Yeah, Canada, same size, less people though. Canada looks massive on a map, but like... Let's go there. But the vast... It's something like 80% of the population live at the border here. Because such large chunks of this is kind of uninhabitable. You know, you say uninhabitable because there are native peoples who live there, right? So it's not uninhabitable. But when you talk about Canada, the nation of Canada, the vast majority of people just live down here at the border. Bangladesh has... Oop, my thing just moved. Bangladesh has more people than Russia. You can fit people almost everywhere with proper farmlands. Which is crazy. Rice is a superfood. Yeah, it is. That's why you get twice as much grain from rice in this game than you do with wheat farms. Oh. We switched to Spanish. I wait the response. Oh, pasted wrong. Really? The Isle of Java has 100 million people? No way. Wow. That's crazy, this little island here. Oh, time to do our thing that they're not going to accept. Yeah, that's true. Indonesia. Like, real life Indonesia cuts through half of this island here. Before I started this stream, I looked up about like some history YouTube videos about this area. It's really interesting, actually, the history of Indonesia and Lanfang and all of this in Malaysia. Probably the largest Muslim country, yeah, in terms of population. Alright, here we go. If we can pass this no migration controls, we can start getting people. So we've been kind of hindered here in the run because we haven't started getting migrations yet. Mass migrations. And we really need that to really get going here. Philippines has a crazy population, I bet. And they have a crazy large population in the United States too. There's a lot of Filipinos in the US. An influential faction within the landowners has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality over the topic of no migration controls. Themselves in favor of the law, they have now resolved to form a separate political faction. But again, you see, I say that, like... But again, it depends on... Okay. Sorry. two separate thoughts here. All right, so July 25th, we should definitely get this. Um, like, again, I say, oh, there's a lot of Filipinos in the United States, but we're a massive country land-wise. 380 million people, so there's a lot of Filipinos in the Northeast. Is that true in the rest of the country? Yeah, probably not, right? So there's probably not that many Filipinos in the United States, but in this area there are. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Robert. That's what I thought of. Like right as it came out of my mouth, I was like, a lot by us, not the rest of the country. It was crazy going to uni in the South and seeing no diversity. I had to teach my roommate what Hanukkah was. Yeah, yeah. I went to grad school in the Northeast here, but there was a guy who was in our class who was from Texas, and he told me how. Now this was grad school. This wasn't even undergrad. So like he was in his like mid 20s at this point. Told me he had never met a Jewish person until that week at orientation. And I kind of laughed. I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, okay. Because like the Northeast, there's like a large Jewish population here. I grew up with many, Jewish friends all around me. It never dawned on me that there weren't Jewish people everywhere in the country. So I was like, what do you mean you just met your first... You met a Jewish person for the first time? That's nuts to me. But I guess in Texas, there's not a large Jewish population. Yeah, it is so weird to meet people like that, right? Oh, don't know what Hanukkah is. No, it's a Jewish holiday. Ooh, hold on. We have gold. Let's get there. Let's start building it before Qing does. Oh wait, West Borneo. West Borneo. Oh, West Borneo. Damn. Yeah, poops. They got that. Not us. We don't have much racial diversity here. The expected range of brown in a Hispanic country and a much larger white population than in other American countries. And some Chinese people working in supermarkets. Oh, very few, but clearly identifiable. Italians and Germans, yeah. And many Jews. We are the second or third country with the largest, oh really, Jewish population in the world after the United States, and not counting Israel. Really, Argentina? I wouldn't have guessed that, but I also don't know what country I would have guessed, to be honest with you. Well, that's interesting then, that there's probably more Jews in all of Argentina than I guess there are in Texas, according to this one person I knew in grad school. Most Jews I know here don't have a problem eating pork. Yeah. Most in the Northeast here too, to be honest. Inspired by the ongoing reform to no migration controls, Sun Ki of the Literati has penned a vision for a future where borders are abolished altogether. I can't believe we didn't get a passage on this. That's 64%. Alright, I'm not messing around. We got 84% now. The armed forces are pissed with us. November 2nd, this thing better damn well pass. Okay, be right back. Yep, see you shortly. I always forget to charge, don't be like me. When Zionism was debating where to form its Jewish homeland, after Israel, the most widely supported proposal was Argentina. The state became alarmed and began a campaign to infiltrate the Argentine Jewish community. Oh, interesting. I hadn't heard that. I had heard about Uganda. I know Uganda was a candidate as well. I didn't know Argentina was a very possible one. Buenos Aires has beast farmland in this game. Oh, does it? I want to do an Argentina run at some point in this. We were talking about that earlier. A mine in North Borneo has collapsed, trapping miners within the dark shafts below. The scale of the accident has made the tragedy a story across North Borneo and the nation. Yeah, we want to get the trade unions happy so we can get this solidarity. Alright, we've now got 3 ships. This is the most slowly hiring thing I have ever seen in my life. Because they're only adding 7 like per whatever time interval. And all I want to do is naval invade Katai. It has like 400 arable land. Oh, hold on. Today... Oops. Based in... Conspiracy... but based on real stuff. The Andinia plan. Interesting. I'll have to read that later. Alright, what are we adding to the construction queue here? It's so hard to think about what to build when you have no people. Oh, and we need to sell something. Alright, we're gonna build something industrial. Let's pause for a second because we're losing money here. Yeah, I know. I bet it did. Now would be the time that it would. A lot of stuff like that going around. Damn, we need to sell something. And I don't know what. Because also, like, what is profitable? Okay. Well, does North Borneo need this port right now? They don't really. I always say don't pause the construction queue. It should be a last resort. But I think we're kind of at that last resort. Let's see what that'll do for us here. Oof, still doesn't do much. Oh, because iron is so damn expensive. Okay. Yeah, there's like nobody working here. Alright. Let's get it hired up. Finally, no migration controls. I better see some mass migrations. Alright, we're gonna get off of this too. We're not really hurting for taxation capacity. Political strength of bureaucrats. Kind of wouldn't mind that. Because, yeah, they're the literati. So, yeah, we'll go to appointed, because... Yeah. Alright. We need to be careful here with this budget. Government wages are really killing us. I think maybe the university was a mistake. I mean, we need a university, that's why we built it. But let's be honest with ourselves. Yeah, we need the people, and we don't have the money to fund it. All right. Oh man. What do we do? What do we do? Military wages. Oop. Hey, where did it go? Yeah, the wage of the barracks seems high. Why is that? So it's the normal wage. Build that university again, but have the Dutch pay for it. That's right. Build that school. and the Dutch will pay for it. Yesterday I reformed the Byzantine Empire. Oh man. It had a government of the intelligentsia, perfect and liberal. The moment I gave rights to the Turkic populations, the landowners and peasantry staged a conservative rebellion against me. For a moment, I wished for a genocide button. Oh my god. That should be posted on the shit Victorians say Reddit. I wish I had a genocide button. And I know exactly what you mean. Sometimes your country just has a group of people that you're like, man, I wish you guys would chill out for a minute. Cosplay Empire. Hey, yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back. 10%. So, oh yeah, so let's see. Are we still... Yeah, we are not eligible as a mass migration target. How much arable land do we have? We can see how much empty, unused land we have, but like how much total do we have? And it makes no sense that all of Greece, Albania, and Bulgaria is 100% Turkish in the 19th century. I think that is changing. Because one of the DLCs that are coming, they announced for this year, is supposed to cover like this whole area right here. So there's supposed to be a whole flavor pack for this area. So I bet that's one of the things that they're going to add the flavor to. I had to establish apartheid for 90% of the population. Ethnic displacement should be a thing. Not like Mr. Stalin was afraid to do it. Yeah, I wish too you could like I wish your primary culture could change. Cause like this doesn't make sense. Why it would stay this way. Or there's no events that would change it. That like the Hakka are 30,000 people in the country. But between Bornean and Dayak we have almost 400,000 people. And there's not like an event or something that can help you move towards changing what the primary culture is. Yeah, mods. That's true. Mods will always fix stuff like that for you. It's the century of genocide. I want more representation. That's what you should put on a shirt. This was the century of genocide. I need to be represented. Oh man, I think I'm reaching my point. I think we might be near the end for tonight. Hey Robert, thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Irish being casually genocided by a veggie. That took me a second. I was like, wait, what? Oh, yeah, that whole thing. Yeah, good. I'm glad it was. I'm glad you joined in. It was fun. All right, let's hit the pause button here. So we did some good work tonight. Land-wise, we didn't advance much, but we are... So we're getting more of our flotillas. Once this hits 7, we can naval invade Katai and take them. And then the last thing is just taking on the Dutch East Indies, which we should be able to do. We really... Tonight's stream made me realize just how much we have to absolutely get to multiculturalism. Because if we could do that, not only would we start getting mass migrations like crazy, but we would hire in like the navies and army a little bit more. So yeah, EU5 stream when though? I wish I was one of those people who had one of those advanced EU5 copies. I would definitely be streaming that, but unfortunately I'm not. Sunny day, enjoy. Thank you. Yeah, it was great to have you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you again around here. Great stream. Tomorrow I have to write a book review for history. I don't want to. Just pretend like you're writing it about stuff that happens in Victoria 3. So let's see. When am I on again? So I will be on Friday night for some Friday Night Frostpunk. I always play Frostpunk 2 on Friday nights. And then the next time I'm on with Victoria 3 will be on Monday. I do 2 sessions on Mondays, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. Yeah, next stream we get those kids in school. I mean, we're gonna have to eventually. Might as well do it now. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. This was a lot of fun. It was awesome. And next stream we hopefully take on the Dutch East Indies. The Monday of Capitalism, where we will free the Bornean island, and by free, make everybody Haka. Yeah, so that'll be it for tonight. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. As always, be awesome. I'll see you next time.